Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Vaughn here at a special CCM cafe at Soundcheck in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am not in dress code, obviously, so you know that I am not part of the band Avalon. And we are here with Janet and Greg Long, new member Danny Roca, and Jody McBrayer. We are so excited. They are about to go out on a Compassion International tour, and they have just come out with their newest album. Why is Avalon back after 10 years?
Why? Why indeed?
Not why, but we're so excited. But
By the way, we would love you to be an honorary member today.
Thank
you're not
you.
a part, but I think it'd be nice.
Yeah, and
you.
you
I would
actually
like
work
that.
with dress code.
Thank
We needed
you.
somebody to break up the black a little bit. No, it just kind of fell into place, to be honest. Obviously, that's how God works. Greg and Jana have been sort of doing this for a long time. They took a little bit of a sabbatical and kind of slowed down some. They're on staff at a church in Houston. I was doing other things. I have another group I sing with, Cana's Voice, do solo stuff as well. So everybody was sort of doing their own thing, and then they were in the process of trying to put together a new record. And Greg called me and said, "Hey, would you ever think about coming back and being a part? We've already spoken to a new soprano who they worked with in Houston and knew her. We just have this missing piece. Would you be interested?" And so all that to say, it kind of came together haphazardly, but that's how God works.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of takes all
Right.
these pieces and puts them together and
Right.
uses them for his glory.
Right. And Danny, being a new member of a group that holds such history and esteem in the CCM world, what is that like joining?
Is it still real? I'm still wondering if it's real half the time. No, it's crazy because I was a teenager singing.
Careful.
Hey,
Careful.
I was a teenager trying really hard to sing Can't Live a Day in my room. My poor mother hearing me upstairs just wailing at the top of my lungs. I still can't sing it, but I'm trying. So. But
I
no,
was
it's
that way
great.
with Testify to Love. So, yeah.
But no, it's really great to be singing with these guys. Everyone's so genuine and so kind, and I don't know, we just feel like a family. And I've only been with them a year, year and a half.
And with bringing Avalon back together, you are on Red Street Records, which is Jay DeMarcus' new label. What's it like working with this country artist that has had such success and now producing a CCM album with him?
Well, I have known Jay for a very long time. I won't say how many years, but we actually met at Lee University many years ago, and so I've known him for a very long time. And Greg toured with Jay's former life in East to West, and a Christian band. So we've known him, and when he came to us with this opportunity, we just thought, man, what a great idea. He's so talented, and of course his success speaks for itself, but he is absolutely hysterical to work with. It's hard getting anything done, but it was a great process. It took about a year and a half to make this record, with us living north of Houston and Jody here and Danny in Syracuse, New York. But it was so much fun, and we're so proud of what we created with Jay and Red Street, and just feel really honored to keep doing this. It's such a treat after all these years. I don't know if you want to add any more.
No, you masterfully said, honey.
And how are you blending your other careers, your other solo careers, and different genres? Like Jody's in Southern Gospel, and you're doing pastor worship in Dallas. And how are you blending all of that with your new album and on tour?
It's a calendar app we have. Well, the truth.
It sometimes does not function well.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the truth is, we have this calendar that we all put our stuff on there that's involving with Avalon, and so if something comes in, we'll go, oh, can you, let's find out if we can work this out. And it sounds kind of crazy, but it almost always works out. We had two things happen once. We were doing a women's conference this last year, 2019, in Florida. Jody was supposed to be with Cana's Voice in where, Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas City. So we were in Florida Saturday night,
Yeah.
Okay.
Kansas City with Cana's Voice Sunday morning. There was no possible way to get there. I mean, trust me, we sweat bullets trying to figure it out. And I got
Finally.
there.
Yeah.
I got there.
If there's no
Private
possible way I
plane
to get there.
At great
Okay.
expense.
Great expense, private plane, but yeah, so it normally works out. But let me just say, we're having a blast. I mean, I don't know, you could tell, but when the cameras weren't rolling, you probably saw us just laughing, and we're having a really, really good time doing it. We're quite honestly just so honored and thrilled that people will still come out, and so far it's like they appreciate the record. And honey, it was north of a year and a half. It's the longest it's ever taken us to make a record in the history of Avalon. That's because of where we all live and how difficult that was. But we're really honored to get to share it with people. It's called Called is the record, entitled Called, maybe is a better way to say it. But we feel like the songs have a good representation of the DNA of Avalon with the vocal. You know, the Rascal Flatts, you think of it as a country act, but they're really great harmonies and
Right.
great vocals together. So Jay was very familiar with all that. And I think you can kind of hear that too coming through in the record. It's the history of Avalon, the DNA of Avalon, but hopefully with a sound that is current and relevant today. We hope so. We feel like we did a pretty good job on that.
And what's everyone's favorite song on the album?
Oh gosh, Greg, you go first since you have the mic.
I can't. Boy, I say there are two.
No sooner pick
I could no sooner pick than pick a child. Yeah, I mean, I love them all. I do, yeah, right. So, I love what two songs do together. Jana's song that she leads out on is called "If Not for," Jana's got kind of a history there. Can't live a day. I don't want to go. Orphans of God. So, when we found this song at the very last minute, it was like the 11th hour. It was the final song to come in, and it's called "If Not for Jesus," and Jody talks about it so well. Where would my life be, or would I even be here without him? And we would not. We would not be here without him. And this song takes a really great perspective, like, if Jesus were not, I would not be. And that, I love the way that turns right into the song that came in from one of our producers. Don Cook was one of the writers on this song that Jody leads out on. And it says, I can't stop my hallelujahs. And as I listen to those two songs back to back, if not for Jesus, where would I be? But Jesus came, and as you listen to Jody's song, it lists those things. What's the first verse lyric, Jody?
Your glory lights the stars and rising sun. But the chorus says, you are my God, you've rescued my
Yes.
heart, and I can barely breathe when I think of who you are,
Yeah.
of how great you are.
So it's like a wonderful marriage, these two songs, that we didn't plan it like that. Well, it wasn't a part of the deal, but boy, oh boy, they really remind us of how great God is, and then how really our praising him is just a response. It's something we have to muster up. We see him for who he is. Our response is to worship him.
Okay, anyone else have a favorite?
I don't know, that's pretty good. You want to say one? I mean, I don't really have much to add to that, because you mentioned the song I was going to say.
horrible.
Yeah, the other songs are just trash. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, one of my favorite songs is called "Closer," and
She sounds amazing on.
oh, thank you. You're
By
so
the way.
kind. It's very much a journey song. You know, everyone's at a different space in their own journey, in their own walk, and there's so much hopelessness and so much brokenness, and it's very easy to think that whatever your worst is not good enough. And so this song basically says, no, like, it doesn't matter how far away you think you are, like, you're never too far. You're never too far away. It almost reminds me of, I don't know why this picture popped in my head, but if you're familiar with the book The Pilgrim's Progress, just this the journey that Pilgrim has from the city of destruction to the celestial city, and all the in-betweens, and falling into the pits, and going through the valleys, and all these different things, and just continuing to keep his head up and keep going even when he wanted to give up. And so it's just kind of one of those types of songs that is just really powerful.
Y'all
I
preaching.
think.
I'm going to pass the plate.
Take him an offering for the tour. Yep.
So you're going on tour with Compassion. What does it mean to be linking your tour to this great, amazing ministry?
Talk about our trip.
Well, we had the privilege of going last July to El Salvador with Compassion, and Greg and I were able to bring our middle daughter, who's 13. And what a life-changing experience. I've always believed in child sponsorship, and to get to go and see it again firsthand. Matter of fact, the child that we sponsor, we got to spend the day with, and my daughter was just a year younger than her, and they got to hang out and braid each other's hair and, just talk about stuff that 13 and 14-year-old girls talk about. But I just was reminded again of what great, amazing work this ministry does, and it's at the very heart of what we believe and who we are. We're all parents now. We were just privileged to get to partner with them again. And like I said, so believe in what they're doing and saw it firsthand. And we're just, again, honored to get to do this and get to do it with them. So really privileged.
Well, thank y'all so much for letting us come and crash your rehearsals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, album's great. Cannot wait to see you guys on tour. Best of luck, and make sure you go and listen to Called by Avalon.